Hey, what's going on, everybody? Commander Crane here, and we are back with another modern deck tech. And today we're going to be talking about Ajani Cat Aggro. I'm very excited to bring this list to you, as always, at the end of the video. Let me know in the comment section below, what do you think about the list? Is there a card that I forgot to include that I definitely should have? Or do you have suggestions for upcoming videos? Just let me know in the comment section. So, okay, Modern Horizons 3 has a ton of spicy new cards. And I think really, I mean, spoiler alert, Ajani, I think the card is really, really good. And I think it's really, really underrated. It is starting to pop up a little bit here and there. But overall, I think the card is fantastic. And I'm really not, it's not really seeing a lot of play. And I got to thinking, there's a couple of sweet new cats from MH3 that I thought, we could probably build a pretty solid cat deck overall. So let's take a look at the new cats that just came out. So we're playing 4 Ajani Nakatl Pride. This card is absolutely nuts. We get the Ajani, it's a 1/2, we make a 2/1 cat, and then whenever one or more other cats die, we can transform it. And the transform side is so good. So it turns into Ajani Nakatl Avenger. So a +2 puts a 1/1 counter on each cat we control. That's like insane for adding 2 loyalty. And then the 0, make a 2/1 cat, and then if we have a red permanent other than Ajani Nakatl Avenger, he deals damage equal to the number of creatures you control to any target. So that's like an insane 0. And then the -4 is basically a one-sided cataclysm. Like, it is insane. Ajani is so strong. Huge fan of Ajani. Again, I think the card is so underrated. But we're also playing another cat. We're playing 4 Ocelot Pride. This card is really sweet. 1/1 for 1 flying, or not flying, first strike and lifelink, and it has Ascend. At the beginning of your end step, if you gain life this turn, create a 1/1 white cat creature token. Then if you have the city's blessing, for each token you control that entered the battlefield this turn, create a token that's a copy of it. So I know initially this card might not seem as strong, and I was kind of on the same boat, like, oh, it's kind of cool, but it's not, I don't think it's super good. No, this card is very strong, and it works extremely well with another card that's in this deck. It'll make sense in a little bit here, but if you get that specific combination of cards early in the game, you're kind of just going to take over the game with Ocelot Pride. So anyways, let's go and hop into the rest of the deck here. So we're playing a cat deck. We got the Ajani, we got Ocelot Pride. What other cats are we actually playing in this deck? So we are also playing 4 copies of Wild Nakatl because we are a Naya deck. So obviously we got to play Wild Nakatl. 3/3 for 1 card is sweet. We're also playing 4 Qasali Ambusher. I love this card. 2/3 for 3 with reach, but it's not really 3 mana. If a creature is attacking you and you control a force and a plains, you may play Qasali Ambusher without paying its mana cost and as though it had flash. So essentially it's a free 2/3 reach. This card is absolutely sweet. I love Qasali Ambusher. I can't tell you how many times I've taken out like Monastery Swift Spears or Ragavans or Goblin Guides just with playing Qasali Ambusher. The card is absolutely sweet. I love Qasali Ambusher. And then we're also playing 4 King of the Pride. King of the Pride, pretty self-explanatory, gives all of our cats +2/+1, which is just incredible. I mean, giving him a Savannah Alliance buff is absolutely insane. It is a 2/1 though, so it can die to Bowmaster, but it's going to make sense why we're actually playing King of the Pride here in just a moment. It'll make perfect sense. So those are all the cats that we're playing. But the other thing is, we need red permanents. What red permanents can we play to get the best out of Ajani's 0? So these are the red permanents that we're playing. We're playing 4 Ragavan Nimble Pilfer. Yeah, it's not a cat, but it doesn't matter. Ragavan is just that good. Extremely strong red card in the format. For those who play Modern, everyone obviously already knows that. We're also playing 2 copies of Ren and 6. I was trying to decide what else I wanted to play as a red permanent, and I decided to play a couple of Ren and 6 just because I do think the card is pretty strong overall. Just good value. Then we're also playing 2 copies of Klothys, God of Destiny. I love Klothys. For those who've been watching the channel for a long time, obviously I love Klothys. I played a lot in Pioneer, and I also play it even more in Modern. It's arguably better. Actually, not arguably, it is better in Modern just because of all of the fetch lands. So being able to make the mana is extremely easy with Klothys. So definitely a huge fan of Klothys. So these are the red permanents that we're playing. Let's look at the rest of the cards that we're playing in the deck. In this card, it's going to seem weird initially when you see it, but hear me out. So we're playing 4 copies of Leyline of Vitality. So I know what you're thinking. I don't even know there was a green ley line from this set. What does this thing actually do? All right, so it has the ley line text. If it's in your opening hand, you start the game with it in play. Creatures you control get +0/+1. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, you may gain 1 life. So this is the card that works incredibly well with Ocelot Pride. So obviously, not only is it able to give +0/+1 to protect it from the Bowmaster and also King of the Pride, protect it from Bowmaster, but so let's say we start, boom, Leyline of Vitality, we get it in the opening hand. We go turn 1, Ocelot Pride. Okay, trigger, gain a life. Go to the end step, get a cat, gain another life. So we're already up a little bit in life. Then we can go, for instance, turn 2, we can go Ajani. We're going to gain 2 more life because 2 creatures are entering. Let's say we attack with our 1/2s now. It's a 1/2 first striker. And then we obviously have our regular cat. Boom, we get in with that. We gain more life. We get another cat. So very quickly, we're gonna able to ascend, I guess, if that's the correct terminology, and just start just getting so many cat tokens into play. So I really like Leyline of Vitality in this deck. I know it seems a little weird, but it's fantastic if you have it in the opener. It's also good against other aggro decks just because we're gaining all this life, and it's just gonna get out of hand for him. So huge fan of Leyline of Vitality in the deck. And then we're also playing 4 copies of Lightning Bolt and 4 copies of Lightning Helix because we are essentially a zoo deck. I really like Lightning Helix in this deck because once again, it can help trigger the Ocelot Pride if we don't have the ley line. Just the life gain is pretty solid. So that's the entire main board. Let's go and hop into the lands real quick, which the lands is pretty self-explanatory. So we're playing 4 Windswept Heath, 4 Wooded Foothills, and 2 Arid Mesa as our main fetch lands here. Also huge reprints from MH3, making Windswept Heath and Wooded Foothills a little bit cheaper for us, which is pretty nice. We're also playing 2 Temple Garden, 1 Stomping Ground, and 1 Sacred Foundry as our main fetchable dual lands in the deck. Then we were also playing 2 copies of Cavern of Souls. Again, I know we're playing a couple of like non-cats, but the fact is there's a lot of counter spells going around in the format. We're definitely going to want some Cavern of Souls. We're also playing 1 Commercial District as just the free fetchable surveillance, you know, why not? Then we're also playing 1 Besage You just because it's free. Also can do some pretty good things with Wrenn and 6, huge fan of that. And then rounding out our lands, we're playing 1 Plains and 1 Forest. And as our spicy basic land of the day, or basic lands, we're playing the cat basics. I know that I've featured a couple cat decks here on the channel before, which, I mean, it makes sense to play these. They're cat themed. You know, we got a Ketra in the background there, and then on the Forest, we have like the, oh gosh, I think that's a cheetah. Yeah, I think it's a cheetah. Maybe, is it a jaguar? No, I think it's a cheetah. So we got that hiding in the bush there. Actually, maybe, is it a tiger? I don't even know. Let me know in the comment section. What cat is in that bush? I can't even tell because it's kind of camouflaged there. So, but anyways, these are the spicy basic lands that we are playing. So, all right, so don't go anywhere yet. We still have to talk about our sideboard as well as some budget options for the deck. So sideboarding is going to be relatively simple, but like I mentioned in most videos, feel free to change up the sideboard depending on what your metagame looks like. Don't be afraid to change it. So we're going to want some Graveyard Hate just because Graveyard decks are everywhere right now. So normally I would say we're a white deck, play Rest in Peace. But the problem with Rest in Peace is it actually doesn't help Ajani because it's whenever a cat dies. So if all of our cats just go to exile, we don't actually get to flip the Ajani. So personally, I would recommend Relic of Progenitus and maybe some combination of Endurance as the Graveyard Hate of choice for this deck. We're definitely going to want some extra removal. Again, kind of depends on what your local metagame looks like. Cast into Fire, I think, is a really, really solid option. But again, for the most part, it just depends on what your metagame looks like. I'm personally playing Prismatic Ending as just a really good flexible removal spell, but it's really up to you. Pick Your Poison is fantastic. The modern, with Modern Horizons 3 coming out, the metagame is changing a little bit, but the 5-color zoo deck is still everywhere, and Pick Your Poison is the best way to be able to combat that deck. So do keep that in mind. You're going to want some combination, some number of Pick Your Poisons. And then Force of Vigor is just a really, really solid sideboard card. I love Force of Vigor, just being able to pitch it, being able to destroy, you know, Amulet of Vigors or, you know, Urza Sagas or what have you. It's fantastic. So definitely going to want some combination of Force of Vigor in your sideboard as well. And then the last thing we got to talk about is the budget options, which obviously budget dual lands, you know, you could cut some of the fetches and the shocks and such. But I think the main way to cut, you know, if you're looking to just get into a more basic version of this deck at a lower cost, is really just switch to green-white aggro instead of the Naya version. Just because with the Naya, we have all the fetches, we have all the shocks. Obviously, we've got like Ragavan, we've got Wrenn and 6. So if you just want to play cats on a budget, I would personally just go to green-white. The current list as it is constructed right now is $689 US. And a lot of that just comes from Ajani and Ocelot Pride. They are very new cards. You know, there's more packs being opened, more entering the market. you know, people are, again, they're playing Ajani and Ocelot Pride, but not at a super high level. So there's a good chance by the time, you know, this video comes out for like a week, the prices are going to be a lot lower, or people are going to catch on to Ajani and then it's going to be way higher. You never really know with sets like this. But the last thing I want to mention is the budget list is only $245 US, which again, I know that sounds like a lot, especially compared to like a Pioneer deck, but it's really just because Ajani and Ocelot Pride are relatively expensive cards. Once you have the Ajani's and the Ocelot Prides, the deck is extremely cheap because, you know, instead of just like a cat bonus that we're playing in this deck, the green-white version is a true actual cat deck, which the deck lists are going to be in the description below. We have the regular version and the budget version with sideboards as well if you want an example as to what to play in your sideboard. But anyways, that takes us to the end of it here. I was really excited to feature Ajani. When I first saw the card in Modern Horizons 3 spoilers, I was really excited, was hoping that we'd get a couple other good cats from this so we can make a good cat deck, and man, we definitely got another good cat in Ocelot Pride. I think this deck is sweet. So that takes us to the end of the video here. Thanks so much for watching. Once again, the deck lists are in the description below if you'd like to check those out for yourself. Huge shout out to our channel members, Ralph, Matt, Arcadius, Ray, Garrett, and Sarah Renoki. If you are interested in being a channel member, it's only $1 US a month. You get access to the exclusive Discord where if you want to talk more about cats with me in my Discord, you definitely can do that. I'm Commander Crane. Thanks for watching this video, and I'll catch you in the next one.